Pupils, parents and friends of the school. On behalf of J5, we would like to thank the teachers who have continued to provide excellent online education under these uncertain times. Our experience with remote and modern learning hasn't been without a few bumps, but the dedication of teachers, staff and pupils has been exemplary, which has given us a sense of normality through this new way of learning. We are honoured to be given this opportunity to represent our year group and deliver the Leaver speech this year. I think we can all agree that this year has been a mix of emotions for everyone, but the circumstances have been handled, allowing for our education and enjoyment to be continued.
For this year's speech, we decided to ask our year group what would sum us up in a few words. We had several replies, with a bit of a handful, which a couple of teachers would certainly agree with. We were described as sporty, which we definitely are, though we can sometimes take this into the classroom with us. But the overwhelming response was that we were great fun and also great friends. Teachers, we hope you all agree.
We have a lot to talk about, so it's appropriate to start at the very beginning. J1. We were all so new in getting lost inside the school grounds. It was only the start of our journey through St. Olive's, and I remember pupils towering above me as I walked through a maze of corridors. J1. Some of my finest work came from these classrooms, including my family poem.
My favourite memory from J1 was taking part in the Two-Faced play and watching some interesting solos performed by my friends. Throughout every year, drama plays a big part of school life, and especially the dance choreography that goes with it.
As I was in J1Z, we always had a surprise in the middle of the year, which many will know about. Smudge the cat. As much of a lovely surprise it was, I was indeed not aware of one thing. I had a cat allergy. And what better time to find out than in school? Next thing you know it, I was in the nurse's office with red eyes and an exploded face, which was not the prettiest sight right before the school sports photos.
J2 was an in-between year, not quite as new as J1, but not quite the responsibility level of J3. What we all do remember is the trip to Cadbury's World on our J2 sports tour. Imagine 70 hyper 10-year-olds running around crazy after one too many chocolate bars, and then trying to control a bus full of chaotic children singing at the top of their lungs. Sorry, teachers. However, we argued that the extra chocolate gave us energy for the sport, but we soon realised it only gave us a stitch.
J3, the year of prep. With this extra bit of added responsibility came a sense of pride despite not having as much free time now. It was up to us to hand it in on time, which we saw as a major achievement in the first term. One memory from J3 was going on a trip to Flamber Head. To say the least, the journey wasn't so pleasant. There were some very windy roads and a coach full of queasy children. Amazingly, they continued to go here every year. It is worth it.
One of the fondest memories from St. Olive's was the introduction of It's a Knockout. This was the best day of the year, if I say so myself. It included a day without lessons and houses battling to establish the winner. Thanks to our catering staff, we had a barbecue for lunch, which was one of the highlights of the year.
In J4, we enjoyed the fact that we were no longer considered as a junior, and to start the year we went to Carton Lodge. We had a lot of newcomers at the start of the year, and what's better than to do team building on the second day back. One of my personal favourite tasks was rafting, which involved making and testing your raft. At first, our team thought our raft was sturdy, and compared to the others, we were very proud that it could sit on the water. However, we soon found out that you certainly can't judge a book by its cover, as all the other teams were happily sailing away while we were struggling to balance all of our team members on. We certainly got a little wet.
Not only being one of the highlights of the year, but one of the highlights of Olives was our trip to London. There was a lot of excitement as we were taking our journey by train, which was chaotic to say the least, but in the end, we got there all in one piece. We looked around the Globe Theatre to give us a taste of what it would have been like in Shakespearean times. The afternoon was a less serious and more modern experience, going to see the School of Rock at the New London Theatre. And by the end of the brilliant performance, I could certainly hear my eardrums ringing.
J5 has been a very interesting year for all of us. We started off the year with new duties and roles to play, as we were top of the school. The novelty of duties wore off quite quickly when we realised we would have to do this for every week for the rest of the year. Before the unfortunate event of the school closing down temporarily due to COVID-19, we went to watch the brilliant theatre performance, The Woman in Black. The performance was certainly gripping. However, I still have not fully recovered from the jump scares. Continuing with the theatrical theme, J5 performed a Shakespeare play. Many hours of hard work and dedication went into producing an outstanding performance of Macbeth, which we were lucky enough to perform in the Joseph Rowntree Theatre.
A huge part of life here at St Olive's has been the fantastic sporting opportunities throughout 5 years. We know it's not all about winning the sport, but we certainly did win a lot. Our year has set very high standards for hockey, rugby, cricket, tennis, netball, swimming, rounders and athletics, and it's safe to say we've loved every minute. The boys were really lucky to be able to get back from their Venice tour just before lockdown. Sorry girls.
That was really disappointing, but the musicians managed to play again in the Hull Music Festival, which my band had been rehearsing for most of the year. The standard and variety of musical opportunities throughout St Olive's is amazing, and the breadth of music ensembles, orchestras and bands set us up perfectly for Peters and beyond.
The year took a turn as we were sent home to carry out online school with the unfortunate event of COVID-19. From a personal perspective, online school has been a different experience and it has been understandably difficult for everyone. What's impacted us the most has not been able to spend the last few weeks at St Olive's with our friends and enjoying the treats that had been planned for us, although the staff have done a tremendous job to bring as much normality to our everyday lives as possible. For every year group, there have been challenges, but some joy. Everyone was glad to hear that exams were not going ahead as scheduled, and no Saturday school meant we could get a lie-in. However, we've been lucky enough to enjoy producing a virtual gala and an online enterprise. As per usual, gala went ahead, but with many changes to what would normally happen. For my gala performance, we were very ambitious considering the circumstances and chose to learn the hacker. Obviously, it wasn't quite as easy as we had to film it online. Imagine a live Zoom call of 11 rugby players all performing in unison. It definitely wasn't perfect.
Enterprise has definitely kept our year group busy. This year, the groups were slightly smaller than usual, which meant we had to come together, collaborate and work even harder to produce the end product, which was all through our DT, Art, English and ICT lessons. As it was online, we had to design our own website and make a virtual portfolio, along with adverts and manufacturing the products. We have definitely ticked off our learning habits for this term.
Houses in Olives have always been a big part of school life, whether it is singing or house sport. There is always encouragement throughout the years, and it's always a great experience. Many house competitions were lost this year, including Sports Day, house singing, and It's a Knockout. Though we were able to still perform house singing at a great standard, as my house took the win. As you all well know, each year has an intriguing theme. This year was Disney songs, which definitely allowed for some creativity. Our waving crabs and fish will be memorable for years to come.
We are sad to hear that Harry is leaving us this year, and we wish him all the best in Switzerland. And Charlotte, we wish you all the best in your new school. We must have not been that bad of a year for only 3 teachers leaving us. Mrs. Towers leaves us having worked one-to-one with many pupils, helping them with their own educational journeys. Mrs. Tucker leaves St. Olive's after teaching many senior pupils Latin, and we wish her the best in her next step of her journey. Mrs. Bennett leaves us after 17 years, having established the Life Skills programme, many residentials, and of course, being a senior teacher and teaching thousands of science lessons. Thank you for all the wonderful memories we have had over the years, and I'm glad to say that you've made my handwriting 10 times quicker from our lessons. On behalf of our year group, we wish you both the very best for your next part of your journey.
Our school would not be here today without the tremendous support of the FAs, catering staff, ground staff and cleaners who work tirelessly to ensure the school looks fantastic. We fear the times ahead are going to be even more challenging for everyone involved. As we conclude our online speech, we would like to thank everyone for the fun times, for the lessons learned, and most of all, thank you for the memories made. Thank you.
Thank you.